Hello there, folks. This is Christopher Tompkins for the Social Marketing Academy. I'm so glad to be speaking with you today. I hope that you are having a wonderful day so far. Today's topic is going to be something that has come up a lot, and I want to talk to you about it because it's really important right now with all of the economic change that we're going through. It is important to know what your monthly marketing budget should look like. So today, on today's show, I want to help you draw up an easy marketing budget that you could do on a monthly basis that will help you not only keep your costs in front of your face, but also give you the opportunity to analyze where your costs can change and move around so you can be malleable and organically grow your results over time. If this is the first time that you're listening to the Social Marketing Academy, I want to say welcome. It is a pleasure to be speaking with you. This is your one-on-one consultation with me. I am the CEO and head strategist of the Go Agency. So what I want to do here is I want to be just like I'm on the phone with you or on a Zoom call with you and telling you how you can do better. How there's certain ways that you can do things a little bit easier, and just share with you marketing and sales tactics and strategies that I've learned and developed successfully over the 11 years with the Go Agency. I also want to tell you right now, very quickly, check out our website, gosalesandmarketing.com. On our blog page, you could look through the whole website, but the blog page is where I really want to focus your attention. From a consultative approach, I want you to have access to all of that free information. So just go ahead there, take a look. We do blogs on a very regular basis. There's always great ebooks that you can kind of download. So check out that and try to level up your game with some of that information, just whatever's interesting to you. You can also sign up to our newsletter on that website if you want to get our bi-weekly email blasts. All right, so let's jump into this monthly marketing thing. Okay, so if I had to ask any of you right now, okay, what's your monthly marketing budget? Boom, go. You're not going to be able to instantly pull that. You're going to maybe give me an approximate, or you'd have to go and look at 3 or 4 different sources to see what's going on, or you just decided this already and you haven't looked at it since December or November, whenever this was approved. Or you're a smaller company and this is something that you're kind of just not really focusing on. No matter what the size of your company, unless you have a financial analyst that can pull this information for you very quickly, or your finance person, your accountant, whatever, you need to be doing this. So you need to be understanding what you're spending money on to see what's the most effective. Marketing always has the tightest budget and always has the most pressure put onto it, not sales marketing. And I feel that having a really strong budgeting strategy will help you move around as changes occur. So I'm going to suggest a very basic way of doing it that you can then evolve into a more high-tech way of doing your marketing budgets. So the first thing I want to do is I want to break it down into 3 very separate categories. And these are the 3 main cost factors, I think, in a monthly marketing budget. The first thing is going to be your memberships and subscriptions. This is something that you're going to be paying on a monthly basis to maybe execute some of your marketing strategies. So it could be a premium Canva account, a LinkedIn Sales Navigator account. Maybe you have a social media scheduling tool or a social media or a marketing tool like HubSpot, a subscription there, or Hootsuite, or all of these things. What are you paying on a monthly basis? Do you have a live chat on your site that has a monthly fee associated with it? Are you using SEO tools that have monthly fees associated with them? I want you to pull out an Excel spreadsheet or whatever type of spreadsheet you use, Google spreadsheet if you want, and why don't you start listing all of the things that you have? Now, if you're struggling to figure out what those costs are, and there's so many of them that there's so many little ones that you don't really think about them, just go into your emails. If your email is the one who gets the bill, like it's marketing at whatever company, just go through and type in receipt in your email search function and see what it pulls up, and then do the last 40 days. That should give you a pretty clear idea. You'll still have to do a little bit more digging, but that should get you going at least. And just take an hour and fill it out. See what your costs are, and then do 2 columns. the first column should be your monthly, and the second column should be your annual. And that will show you how much money every year you're spending on this. That annual number is really important because it helps you keep on top of what is effective and what is not effective, what needs to be thrown to the garbage and what can be kind of reinvested in. And over time, you will start seeing that you need to refine this list in real time. So now what I am not suggesting is for you to go in there and every month add a service and remove a service and add a service and remove a service and just keep adding and removing. Sometimes things need a few months to kind of settle in for you to really see what they would do for you. So don't go too hard on that, I guess. But what I would do is, maybe even have an internal process where you would evaluate tools every quarter or something like that. That seems a little bit more realistic. So have all of them there. You know what? I am the guiltiest of signing up for services and trying them out, and then forgetting that I tried them out and they're like $6 a month or $7 a month. Well, guess what? If you get like 20 of those really add up. And then look at that and your annual fee, and it's like, holy crap, I can get rid of those, save a lot of money. I'm not using them, they're terrible, and I can go and reinvest somewhere else. I've done this with education platforms a lot. So we've tried things out internally at the Go agency for training, and some of them just been not up to snuff, not up to my standard. And we will just kind of go and remove that subscription and say, okay, well, we're taking off a $1,000 a month education cost. What would be the most effective way to reinvest that into education somewhere else? So it helps you understand where you're going rather than just cutting costs. Which takes me to the next thing, which is your advertising budget. This could be online or offline. And you need to understand, because this is a big variable. This is something that a lot of people don't do every single month the same exact amount. A lot of people do it based on campaigns, based on what structure they have, et cetera, et cetera. So you need to make sure that you know what your budget is. So I would say having that in for, like, if we're doing March 2020's budget and we have $2,000 set aside for advertising, we would delineate where those would be, where that money would be going, maybe $1,000 to Facebook and $1,000 to LinkedIn, or maybe $2,000 to Google or whatever. And just have that in front of you on your list. And what I do is I like to have a running month to month. So you can update this monthly budget as new things materialize. That way, guess what will happen? At the end of the year or at the end of a quarter, you'll be able to look at your costs and see what happened. What did it affect? So you can start looking at things against your key performance indicators or your sales figures, or whatever you're trying to measure for marketing. Because marketing isn't just about like going out and standing on a soapbox and screaming. I don't want to get on, number one, I don't want to step on a soapbox. Number two, I don't want to scream unless I know what I'm trying to do. What am I trying to get out of this? And that's where you really need to focus. So the next thing up would be your advertising budget. So you have all your subscriptions and memberships. You have your good old ad budget. And I would say, just to make it simple too, if you're doing any conferences or anything like that virtually or in person, I would put that into your memberships and that type of thing, and just make sure that it's added into the right month if you have an additional fee. That would also, if you're looking at marketing collateral, a lot of that stuff is not monthly. It's kind of quarterly, or it could be like based on a campaign. That can be all added later. And this is where I'm saying it's great to have these details in front of you, because then you can handle them better as things change. If you say that you're like, oh, I'm joining this networking group and it's $199 a month, and every time I go, it's all people from the wrong audience and I'm not getting one lead, but I could really use this. I want to go to this conference, but the ticket's $199 and I don't have it in budget. Well, yeah, you do. Get out of that networking group and then go into this. You know what I mean? It's that easy. So, but it's hard when you don't know where you can kind of move around, and then you're trying to cut costs, because being a marketer that's trying to constantly cut costs and not understand what results are coming out of what's happening through marketing it's impossible. It's an impossible game. You're just going to make gut decisions that aren't based on fact. I like gut decisions, but when I'm spending a lot of money, I want to know what results I'm getting. And then the last thing is you want to look at how much money you're spending to actually execute the work. So how much money is in this? For different size companies, this looks different. Okay, so in smaller companies, you might want to add in all of your the employees that execute marketing. Or if you're a larger organization, you want to think about everyone that you're outsourcing to within the marketing function. Maybe you have an SEO expert, maybe you have a social media expert, maybe you have a whatever expert in a firm or agency that you're outsourcing to, a PR agency. You need to have all of those on there as well. Now, why you need those on there is this is where it goes. Everything ties back to key performance indicators. Seeing everything on one sheet will really help you understand where your money's being spent and what is the most important. And I mean, that sounds terrible to say that the more expensive it is, the more important it is. But if you're going to invest a large amount of your budget into outsourcing, you need to understand what you're measuring before you want to go to that individual or firm or agency. Now, if you, and this is just a hot tip off the side of our regular conversation here, if you are going to hire someone to do your search engine optimization, you should have an idea of what you want the results to look like. Now, you may not know what the results could be, but you should go in with what you want. I want more website visitors, and I want to increase my website visitors by at least 30%. Or I need to have more people filling out the forms on my website. No one's filling out anything. So I want to get 10 fill outs at least a month. See, this is where you can start figuring out when they give you the quote, how much is worth what. And I was talking about online advertising in a previous show. I was thinking about like, okay, well, if the average close is worth $6,000 and you only close half of the people that you bring in, then you could say that the average close could be worth $3,000. A prospect would be worth $3,000 rather. You can do the same thing with all of this different stuff as long as you have the right details to kind of measure. So understanding things on the back end is really important. And if you do not understand how that works, find someone that can help consult you through that process so that you don't just make some wild stabs. I'm telling you, the consulting that we do at the Go Agency, me spending an hour with somebody and for a couple $100 will save them thousands of dollars down the road because they will make informed decisions based off of fact rather than fiction or whatever they feel is right. So, and I say all of this because whenever a cut needs to be made or a big opportunity comes up, because everybody knows a boss will come in and just went to a conference or just had a conference call with one of their buddies, and it's like, yeah, I hear that X is the new thing. Let's do that. I don't care how much it costs. Yeah, great. He's gonna care. He's gonna care how much it costs, and he's gonna say, well, cut something out. What's the most expensive thing on your list? Okay, take that off. No, that's not how you rebudget and reallocate. So what you do is you look at everything and see how it's performing, and the low performers are the first ones on the chopping block. So maybe you have 10 subscriptions or networking groups or whatever that you're involved with that aren't performing, and you have a larger cost that is performing. So I'm doing 10 different networking services and subscription services, and I'm getting 0 prospects out of them, and that totals $1,000. I'm spending $1,000 a month on an agency that I'm outsourcing to drive prospects, and they get me 10 a month. So why would I want to lose the only thing that's giving me success? But this is something that happens. You look at it and you're like, how can I make some quick cuts? What's most expensive? And that could be anything. I'm not just saying like it's an outsourced agency. Maybe it's an exhibition that is coming up, and you have a booth and you have all those materials, and they're like, oh my God, it's going to cost $10,000. Cut that out. I want to do this instead. Well, if you're the exhibition every single year, you have data that shows you that you get 10 hot prospects off the back of that. And like I said, 10 hot prospects and $3,000 would be your average prospect. So that means that's $30,000 worth of prospect income that could be realized, and you're only spending $6,000 on the exhibition. I don't think so, boss. I think we need to be focusing on keeping that. And that's one of the ways that you can also sell up. We wrote an ebook. The VP of our company wrote an ebook called Convince Your Boss, and it has all of the stuff about that. If you want a copy of that, just DM me and I'll shoot one over for you. But here's a long story short. If you're doing a monthly marketing budget, you need to add all of these things in there. And maybe I've forgotten a few things, or I've glossed over a few of the aspects. I just want to give you some anchors that you can look into so that you can really understand where you need to start moving and shaking in order to affect change within your marketing budget for effectiveness. Takeaway here is that you need to know what you want before you start putting your money out there. So I always start a strategy with what is the goal and how am I going to measure that goal? And I want to come up with formulas that make sense. So those are really important steps to take before you start shelling out money to cool stuff that looks neat. And you think they're going to give you like this great return, but you don't have any proof. I'm not anti-gut feeling, but I'm anti-overspending, because I said this in my last podcast, which you need to check out, with is how to get your online advertising budget together. I've talked to so many people that just say online advertising doesn't work, and I looked through their Facebook advertising campaign, and they spent $50 once for an ad for 2 days or a month or something stupid, and they're like, it just doesn't work. That's just not enough data. How am I supposed to understand how anything works with $50 for a couple days? So you have to think about things realistically, and also how you're measuring them is really important. And I think over the years, a lot of people have been really down on social media marketing because it doesn't have a really dead set ROI. I think that ROI can be, there's return on influence and return on investment, okay? You need to understand what the most is important to you. Just kind of have a real come to Jesus moment and say, for me, this is the most important thing to me. Because I've worked with other people that, just peers of mine who work in other digital agencies, and they have really horrible stories of clients that just fired them instantly because when they hired them, they said they wanted branding and visibility, and then they fired them because they weren't getting enough leads. No, you can maximize for each one of these metrics. So you really need to know what is the best, because then you'll understand how you need to spend. All right, folks. I'm going to get off my virtual soapbox here, I guess, and just think before you leap. Keep your costs in front of you. Understand what's effective, and you're going to be good as gold. You'll be able to grow, all right? And grab those opportunities when they come in at the last minute, especially when you're tight on budget. All right, folks, you've been listening to me, Christopher Tompkins. I am the CEO and head strategist of the Go Agency. I welcome you into my home online, gosalesandmarketing.com. Check out our blog page. Lots of great information there. If you need social media help, if you need online advertising help, or anything that we talked about here, I'm here for you. I can do consulting, as well as we offer many of these services that my super talented team offer. So if we can help you in any way, please reach out. Subscribe to the podcast, and hey, I'll talk to you really soon on the Social Marketing Academy. Thanks for joining me, folks. Have a great day.